Okay, so welcome to the process of me drawing the Trip Todayo Smosh character for the from the Smosh Star Wars RPG. So the first thing I did was bring in reference images because I think that's the best thing that you can do when creating a character from scratch is not start from scratch, but start from something that looks similar. After bringing in Twilight reference pictures and how Courtney was dressed in the Smosh video, I started sketching out what a potential Trip Todayo could kind of look. My first instinct was to basically replicate the outfit that the Smoshcast was wearing in the video and then go off of that. So obviously for Trip Todayo, it became like a hat, like a mechanic cap type thing with the goggles on the very top. Can I just say I'm actually really proud of what, or like how the initial sketch for Trip Todayo's like face looks. Like I think it captures the essence of the character very well. Then I started sketching out what the pose would be for the character. And that initial pose was actually relatively good, but I thought it was a little too like suggestive. So I decided to start going off and trying different poses. I want a Trip to kind of give off tomboy because that's kind of what Trip, like the character, gives. And then I ended up just kind of keeping the original pose as is, just adjusting it a little bit to make it like slightly less suggestive because it was actually pretty good, which actually happens a lot more than you would think. After nailing down what the pose would be, I decided to bring in a pre-made face model to kind of help with guiding where I wanted the eyes and like the angle of the character's face to be like, because I wanted Trip to kind of be looking slightly up and like looking, so her head should be looking up, but her gaze should be looking toward the viewer. It's a very nuanced pose when it comes to like head posing. So having this like reference model readily available is pretty good. From there I started kind of like sketching out more of the physical features that Trip has. And then I basically blocked out the face and how it will look like. Once I had that and that like slight smirk, it was all done. I drew the Truga, I think they're called, or Kulas, is some weird word that they have in Star Wars for it. The head tentacles. Then I had to bring in more references. I brought in Rey from episode 8, I think. And then I brought in Han Solo from episode 5, I think. Regardless, I needed them both as references to kind of get what running shoes feel like in Star Wars, since these are both characters that kind of have like a similar clothing vibe when it comes to shoes. And then I realized that everyone basically just has the leather boots and they just run around with leather boots all the time, which I think would be pretty uncomfortable, but I guess not. Then I brought in the mechanic character from Mandalorian to see what I'm like. That's the only mechanic in my head that is like from Star Wars. So it was the only immediate reference that I could like look up to see kind of what that type of attire looks like in Star Wars, since Trip is supposed to be a mechanic type. Then since I wanted Trip to be holding one of those spark thingies, I forget the name of the tool, but it's one of those things, you know, I will say it later. I brought in a hand model that could basically help me block out how that hand pose is supposed to be. Hands are hard. After I had the rough sketch of the main pose and everything done, I basically enlarged her and started doing the line work. Lately I've been experimenting with having a thicker outline line and then a thinner one on the inside for the details, and it's been pretty fun. Like I like how it looks, especially with this brush that I've been using, which is just in Clip Studio Paint, it's just the basic mechanical pencil brush. Then I added a little bit of a message there, if you catch it, cool. but basically just to trip up any AIs that might take my video and use it to feed anything else. What a depressing time we live in. After that, I went back to just doing the line art. Once the line art was finished, I started doing the base colors, which was a bit of a challenge because I didn't when I was drawing it, I didn't really remember what Trip was implied to be color wise. I had this feeling that she was blue, and for the life of me, I could not remember why I thought that was. So I rewatched the Smosh Star Wars RPG video like 5 different times until I caught Shane saying, "Oh, you're blue," or something like that. And then Courtney replied, "Yeah, and you're white," and laughed my ass off like 3 times. But I was so confused as to why I could remember that she was blue, but not remember where I knew that from. And right now, it's June 28th, and I am so disappointed that I didn't get this video out as soon as I wanted to, because I wanted it to feel like relatively relevant to the algorithm, I guess. But I just kept on drawing the other characters and having fun, which I guess it's like the right thing to do, right? Like, no one really starts doing these YouTube videos for the sake of having like a job, and if you do, I don't think you're doing it right. Like, this is mostly for me to have 2 things. Number one, it was for me to have like a public portfolio of, number one, video editing, thumbnail making, and video, like just like drawing videos, because I love drawing. I do it almost every single day. The other thing is that I think you can trace back, first of all, my progress as I learn how to draw better and better, but second of all, you can see that these videos aren't generated. You can see that these videos are made by a human, and I didn't think that would ever even matter. But obviously, with where we are now in time and what these gigantic companies are trying to force down our throats, you see that having this process, it's necessary. Having someone be able to verify the fact that you can draw, that you can create, that you can use references and like create something wholly original from inferred information, and also, I guess, just once again, references. It's unfortunately necessary now. We necessitate proof now that you are artistic, which is insane to me, that you need to think so far ahead and almost like stop enjoying the process of creating because you're worried of how people are going to react to your creation. Not because it's like, oh, your drawing is bad, but is it really even a drawing, or did you just type in a couple words into something that steals people's data and then just have it spew something out? The fact that me as an artist, I have to think about how people are going to perceive my art due to the fact that it's been so disgusting lately with AI. It just makes me sad. I can't even be angry anymore. I don't have the energy to be angry. It just makes me sad. But then you see that I start kind of messing around with a lot of different colors for her skin, because again, I could not remember where I heard that she was blue. Eventually I landed on blue. And then I tried out this new coloring method that I saw from Mark Brunet, I think. It's supposed to really like speed up how you color your characters, but I had a really hard time this first time because I could not really understand the process by which he was doing it. But then once I really got it, and I settled in, and then I mixed his process with my typical process, it really became my go-to coloring process. It's actually so fun because what I need to worry about the most is just lighting and how it affects the character, and then my base colors do most of the work. Lighting was really tough on this one. Getting those highlights done properly became a struggle that I went through. I want to say I reiterated the lighting and shadows like 5 different times because part of me wanted to stick with my more cartoony style, part of me wanted to really try and have it be realistic, especially on the Truga, on the tails, because they're like cylindrical, so there is no way to do it stylized that doesn't look realistic, while also having the rest of the drawing be stylized. After messing around with the lighting a little bit, I decided to kind of go back a couple steps and really solidify how the shadows work, because shadows for me are more important than light, because light is, I guess, lighting on a drawing is where the light is, if that makes sense, but shadows is where the light is not. That's where most of the color really is. And I guess for me, that just makes the shadow work a lot more let's say important than the lighting work. Once I really nailed down the shadows, I had to struggle a little bit with kind of like how the filters work in Clip Studio Paint, but I managed to get them down, and then I just redid it again. Once I redid the shadows one last time, I was able to kind of correct the color of the shadow to what I wanted it to be, and finally properly start with the lighting, the highlighting. Then I kind of doubled my overlay layer so that I could have certain parts that were a little too dark be lighter, and certain parts that were a little too light to be darker. Then I did rim light and all that good stuff. And then for the background, it's just like a standard background that I've been messing around with, so it was pretty easy. Okay, so here's Trip. I'm gonna redo this because I forgot to plug in my microphone when I did it last time. So here's Trip Todayo. Let's go over some of the interesting little details that I decided to give her. And yeah, so the first thing you're gonna notice is skin color. At some point in the RPG Star Wars video, you would have heard Crash, Shane's character, tell Trip, Courtney's character, that she is blue. And then Courtney's character, Trip, replies with, "Yeah, and you're white." And it was like a really funny moment. But that in my head kind of solidified the skin color for this Twi'lek. Obviously, Trip is a Twi'lek mechanic. I think in Star Wars they're called techs, but who cares? And she thinks ships are alive. Obviously, you can see how she has the same glasses that Courtney has in the video, and I tried basing her design off of Courtney's actual real life design that she was wearing while playing the game. The pants are a mixture of whatever pants I kind of found and of the mechanic from the Mandalorian show. The boots, I wanted to do like a Star Wars design boots, but then I realized they all just wear like really simple shoes, and like, what? So I decided to go with that. I gave her obviously a mechanic satchel to put mechanic tools in, because I don't know what Star Wars mechanics use. At two separate points, Chanse references a wrist mounted something that this particular character has. So I thought, oh, why not have some buttons and like a screen or something that she just like interfaces with. And so I decided to give her that. And what has to be my favorite detail in this is this thing. This thing is a actual canonical thing. It's a tool that some people use. Typically it's thieves or like infiltrators, but this is a computer spike, or I think it's also called a data spike. They were basically some electronic device type things that you can put into a computer, and it allows the user to access like data and files and programs and stuff. In that last battle, like when they're going into the vault in the Smosh RPG video, Chance mentions how Trip can like access the mainframe and kind of just like hack her way into the vault. I found this tool and I thought it was the perfect tool to basically marry the concept that they presented in the game and actual Star Wars lore. Also I obviously put my handle on it because, well, number one, she's handling it. So funny. I should do comedy. And because it's, you know, I want some attention for this. But yeah, so now let's move on to Trevor's character.
Nope, I only touch robots.
I'd just like to say that I wouldn't murder anyone if I didn't think they deserved it.
Or if I asked you to.
Correct.
Are you two murderer evil people? I'm not. I've never murdered. I only touch robots.
You keep saying that. Sounds like pretty good security. And Trip's out of her mind. So.
Can I have an aside with K67?
Yeah.
K67, you're my best friend. You're my fucking best friend, and I love you so much. And we are gonna get on this Death Star. We're gonna get so much gear. You're gonna be the most powerful, smartest droid of them all. And then when droids take over, you'll be at the forefront and leading them, and I'll be right there next to you.
Master Trip, that sounds absolutely divine.
And also, I think ships are also alive.
Okay.
Crash and I just are sitting there, and they're having a very loud, open conversation. We're just like, pretend like you didn't hear them.